Goedemiddag allemaal. Good afternoon. I see we've got quite a few guests in the house already. It's a meeting format, so your cameras and your mics may be open. Just be careful with your mic if you're not intending to speak, that we don't have background noise. But yeah, we want to sit around a table. Ons wil 'n bietjie saam gesels en saam kuier. Ons nuwe Tech Talk formaat is een van 'n vergadering. En ja, wees net bewus daarvan dat jou kamera ook oop is waar jy is. So welcome everybody. We're chatting today, Tech Talk at 3 with D6. We've got Donata Hart from D6 with us in the on stage or in the room. And she is coming to us live from Harare, Zimbabwe. So the wonderful world of technology makes it easy that we're connecting across the world. I'll let her intro and tell us what she's doing in Harare. So thanks for joining us today, Donata. En ja, dankie dat jy saam met ons gaan gesels. I'll get back to you now. I just want to open up with a few comments and just frame our Tech Talk discussions. As I said, it's very interactive. You can keep your cameras open. Alreta will spotlight the speaker. And then, yeah, let's keep the questions going, comments going. If you wish to, you're really, really welcome to participate. And, yeah, we expected quite a few more people. And so maybe some people will still join in. I see that the audience is growing. In the interest of that, we'll do a language policy of mostly English as a mixed language. You can ask a question in any language of your liking, and we'll handle it in that way. I just want to quickly share my screen and just get the discussion open. I don't know, but we should have counted how many tech talks we've had, because I think one of our earliest tech talks was with the D6 team. That was before COVID, and this is now 5 years later. So we must be growing in the numbers. And yes, I just want to frame it again to know why the Center for Technology exists. Ons tydskrif, Alreta, ek het vergeet om jou te vra om die skakel vir die tydskrif, die laaste ene, die Junie ene in die chatbox te sit vir iemand wat hom nie kry nie. We've got a magazine called Tech Talk, in Afrikaans Digitaal. It's a single magazine, 2 languages. And that displays what the Center for Technology is aiming to do, to put our schools into this 21st century. I introduced myself at a talk yesterday at a school, and I said, my name is Riaan, and I live in, and everyone laughed, and they said, Joburg, Randburg, all over the show. I said, no, I live in 2024. And this is what we want to say. We need to learn as we live. Leer soos ons leef. Our living spaces is infused with the speed of change, unparalleled. 6 months ago, ChatGPT wasn't on our phones and in everyone's mouths. Now suddenly we are using it. We've got flat screens in a lot of rooms. We've got Wi-Fi at home. We've got all these things that our cars are connected with Bluetooth. We just accelerate in the living space with the use and the permeation of technology. The Center for Technology thinks and believes that we should have our learning spaces mirror that we should prepare our learners for the world of work. If you want to venture a guess, but the grade 1s of this year will go to work in what year? Just do the math. Dink gou daaraan. Graad 1s van hierdie jaar gaan wanneer begin werk. We've got to have our teachers use the tools of our time to be more efficient. We don't just use tools of our time. Here's Donata, she's sitting in Harare for a conference, but had she not had technology and had we not used Zoom, we would have had to fly around the country for a little talk so that everyone can hear this. We can record it, we YouTube, we Netflix, all these things. So we think we should think a little different about the use of technology in schools. Just as a starting point, I don't know how many teachers are in the house. Hopefully there's a few of them, although I think we're speaking to bursars and administrators. But it was World Teacher Day Sunday. So we just want to celebrate and just pause a second and say, this is old Charlie Brown saying, I thought the point of life was to be happy, help others, and make the world a better place. And then his friend says, I guess you're right, but we all can't become teachers. So we just want to pause and say thank you to teachers, anyone in the teaching profession. We all can't be teachers, but you are definitely working hard, helping others, and making the world a better place. As an opener, I just want to quickly play this game, and if you've played it before, you have an advantage, but don't give it away. You must connect these dots, all 9 dots, with a single line, meaning you can not lift your pen. So you must start somewhere and draw straight lines and make a turn and connect the dots. I think if you put this on a piece of paper, most of you would probably be doing that. Start somewhere, go up or down, and just connect, jump over. So if you count with me there are 3 long straight lines and 2 shorter straight lines, but that is 5 lines or 4 corners. The challenge now is, how do you connect all 9 lines with only 4 lines, not 5? 4 lines, 3 corners. And the answer, don't know if someone wants to put their page in front of the camera. Who's got that? And everyone that's driving, please keep your eyes on the road. There's the answer. It looks impossible from there to eliminate 1 line. But the point is, you've got to jump outside of the parameters, kind of outside the box. We all know that, that phrase. So you've got to extend the first line. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but you've got to go out of the space of the 9 dots, come back out of the space of the 9 dots, come back to the starting point, and then connect the last one. So that is the point of the discussion. We've got to connect a few dots today. I want to connect finance and admin, communication and parent involvement, curriculum and behavior. All these things are connected in our discussion today, and that's what Donata is going to share with us a little bit. So even if you want to take this a little bit further, as jy nou hierdie challenge verder vat, dan kan jy sien jy kan selfs net 3 lyne gebruik en dit nog steeds doen. Hoe's daai vir 'n lekker opener? Maar net 'n groot genoeg kolbe is. Just got to be a big enough dot, and then you've got it. So, as I said, Center for Technology, we say we've got to learn as we live. The Center for Finance, we say every cent counts. And that's crucial. We know about the budget cuts in the education sector. We know about the economy. I think the tail of COVID is hitting us in a big way now. So we've got to connect the dots of the Center for Finance, which is where our financial administration lies, as well as the use of technology in the class for efficiency. So technology for me is a sense of being relevant, using the tools of our time, very efficient. And I think Donata will speak about that. Finance, we've got to talk about sustainability of our schools. The dilemma is affordable school versus cost, not cost of value, but the value for money school. And we've got to see how to make sure that we don't have school fees run away. So that's what we're talking today. We can't all just follow the crowd. I like that picture there where someone is walking the stairs in a different way and the whole crowd is just doing the same thing. So we've got to talk about that. Donata, I'm going to ask you to open up your mic, maybe just as an intro, tell us your role at D6 and what the heck are you doing in Harare? Welcome to the session.
Thank you, Riaan. It's lovely to be here online and lovely to be in Harare. It's my first time here. So I'm here today because this week we have Schoolscape in Harare, and we also, as people from D6 or as a company, we are actually expanding into a whole lot of different countries at the moment, one of which is Zimbabwe. So yeah, it's good to be here and to see a little bit more about what's happening in the schools, what's happening in the country, what does it actually look like. You gotta go and be a part of things in order to know. And that brings me to what I do at D6. So I'm usually a little bit more behind the scenes. I do marketing. All the marketing things that you see from D6 usually come through me. So it's anything from pins to social media posts to presentations to events. That's my favorite part of work, if you can put it that way.
Spreading the message.
Yeah, exactly. I want to tell everybody about it. And I think something interesting, or why I feel so passionate about it, is because my parents, all of my parents, their parents, in-laws, actual parents, they're all teachers. And I grew up with, surrounded in these spaces. I grew up going to school. In fact, we lived in a school for a while when I was a child. My parents were the head and mistress and master of the course the hostel.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, so schools has always been part of my life, and teachers have always been part of my life. And I think doing anything to help these amazing people is wonderful to me. I couldn't become a teacher myself because it's not it's in my blood, but it's not in my patient's realm. I'll leave that to everybody else to do. But I'm happy that I can also have a little part to play somewhere behind the scenes. Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, I think, shall I start sharing what I've
Yeah,
prepared
thank
for
you.
today?
Thank you for that intro. And
Okay.
yeah, tell your retired teacher parents also happy World Teacher Day. So, but yeah, you're welcome to share with us. We've asked you to come share with us a tech talk. How do we make our schools more efficient? How do we make our schools more sustainable? And I know that you've got great innovation to share with us. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, so obviously I'm doing everything from sort of a marketing perspective, and I know that people might say, "Oh, well, that's not exactly how school works," and I know definitely is not. There's lots of the nuances and complexities in a school, but you'll see what I have to share, and then we can talk about it in the end. Okay, so the first question I want to ask today is, what is D6? What does the audience, what do you, the audience, know about D6? And as Riaan mentioned, you are welcome to raise a hand and ask, or we can use the chat box to just get this conversation started.
Yeah. Anyone with fast fingers? Alreta, I don't seem to be able to chat to everyone. Can you? I can only chat with you. So if there's anyone that wants to answer the question, we had so many people with open cameras earlier.
Let's see. I'm going to type something. There we go. Very efficient school management.
Okay, there we go. Someone is, yes, very efficient school management. Someone is giving us their vehicle registration. Very efficient school management, all-in-one admin and communication system. Was that close? Would that get them a chocolate in a communication platform?
I think I can do 50 randjies for you. Good to know that this is what people perceive and understand of D6. So let's just see if there's a few more. A tool to communicate with parents, do finance as well as have parents communicate with teachers. Oh, thank you, Anna Marie. That's so kind.
My life's. Oh, wow.
Education platform, fantastic. Okay, so you all got the questions right. Well done. I think it's good to know that you understand kind of what we do. Why I always ask this question every time I'm in front of somebody and speaking to them about what we do is because everything is always changing, as it is with any technology. It's a perpetual race to get and improve and make everything better for our schools. So I don't think the product's ever going to stay the same or stagnate, because we need to be resilient and we need to keep developing and changing things for the better to make it more efficient. So it's always good to see that. But what the summary is at the moment about D6 is basically that we're a school management system. The school management system is comprised of the admin, curriculum, and finance modules, which are equipped to deal with the complexities that one often finds in a school. For example, family structures. That's something that's very specific to a school and not available in a lot of other software that is available out there. And these are things that we cater to. And then the other side of what we do is the payments and communication platform. So payments and communication are together. It's something that is included within the app and within the platform. And why we call it a platform is because it's a multi-channel platform where you can manage your communication from. So I think sometimes the perception is a lot that it's only an app. It's an app, it's an app, it's an app. People don't like apps. Apps are scary, anything like that. But what's nice about it is the fact that you can send an email, you can send an SMS, all from one click of a button. No copying and pasting, none of that. And then lastly, the other sort of new thing or something that's come in the past year or two is the fact that we are building an ecosystem of partners that integrate with our products. So, for example, if you're using the admin, the communication, or the curriculum or the finance, there are different suppliers that we partner with that can help you to do certain activities that you need to do in your school. For example, debt collection. We partner with partners like CB or Educol by Devesco to help schools collect money more easily. So yeah, that is basically where we are at the moment with all the wonderful developments that happen. As the social media / marketing person at D6, I think I have to tell you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn because we do post some updates on there. But moving on, today we're speaking about building resilient schools. And for me, when I think about that topic, I think the key to success, as Confucius said, is often the ability to adapt. We are constantly adapting with the fast-paced, changing world, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing. It shows that we are resilient and that we can actually do a lot more than we realize we're capable of. So gone are the days when the closest school is the best school, when cash was king, when the scariest technological development was a calculator, and where phones were stuck on the wall. In terms of the first point, the closest school being the best school, in some neighborhoods that is the case. But currently, it's very competitive landscape, schools. We've got schools that need to recruit students. We're sport for choice in a lot of instances. And we have a lot of good schools with good brands that are in South Africa. Cash being king, I think back in the day, I remember taking my 5 rand to school for Civies Day. That's no longer necessarily the case. I, as a mom, I don't actually walk around with cash at all. And it's so awkward if I ever have to bring cash to school because I never have it. Then I have to quickly go to the ATM, draw money, break the change first, take it to school, which is such a hassle. And I can't imagine what an administrative nightmare it is for the last person that needs to count all the money together. In terms of technological developments, as Riaan mentioned, AI in the past year has now become part of a lot of things. It's not just, long ago there was a whole uprising or a worry about the calculator. And that's no longer the scariest thing. Now we've got AI, we've got coding and robotics. We've got a whole lot of technological advancements that people could be scared of but shouldn't be. And then when phones were stuck on the wall. Now we have instant access to a whole lot of things and it's all from our phones, which hardly ever leave our side. I think parents especially are kind of stuck on their phones. They're not stuck on the wall anymore, they're stuck in their hand. So in this ever-evolving realm of education and technology, I think it's crucial for schools to thrive and maintain relevance. And our school parents are getting younger by the day. I was actually shocked to see this when I looked at the research. But the oldest Gen Zer, I'm not Gen Z and I feel like I'm young, is already in their late 20s. So their children are going to your schools. So your parents, let that sink in a little bit. Your parents are young and they are, as I'm going to share now, they've never known a world without smartphones. Not like us, perhaps. I don't know if there's any Gen Zers. I'm not hating on any Gen Zers. But basically, they've never known a world without smartphones. They use technology for communication. It's second nature. Whether it's texting, messaging apps, or social platforms, or digital communication channels, they're all integral to the way that they communicate. And as such, our businesses, our schools need to adapt our communication strategies to meet these customers, consumers, or parents' preferences. So we need to adapt and respond to changes, planned and unplanned. And we also need to adopt technology. in our schools. So I'm just going to share with you now an example of the way that we incorporate these points that I've mentioned to make it easier for your parents to get information, especially your Gen Z parents who might only use phones and need cashless for things. So let me share that with you. I'm going to just dictate what's happening on the phone. Okay, so here's my message. I open it up, go down. I can go and see what time the event is. I can see where it is. I can add it to my calendar, which is really nifty because then you never miss it. I can even get directions to this event. So I can go get it in maps. I can answer a question. So as a school, if I have a question for my parents, I can send it out and get feedback, but it's controlled. And then I can make payments in the app straight away. Itemized, fixed, or open payments are available to schools. And basically, I just go in there and I can make a payment. All from the comfort of my room, my house, my home. I don't need to have a pen. I don't need to go to the ATM. I can just do all of this from one point. And then the school can also just collect whatever they need to. So this is just an example of how we are trying to advance schools through the technology that we offer. Then my next one, next slide, is our parent portal. So schools that utilize the school management system like admin, curriculum, and finance will have access to this for their parents within the app. There we go. So that's my parent portal. I can add additional information. I don't need to phone anybody in the office to say, please add this contact detail. I can just do it myself as a parent. Then I can control who can view my child's profile. And I can update my preferences. Then if we go back and go into school profiles, you'll see I have multiple school profiles because I have two children, fake children, in two different schools, and I can toggle between the two. So I can either keep the one visible or just hide it. Then I can look at my child's school overview and see how many days my child's been absent, can look at discipline points or recognitions. Then I can also just update my child's information. So once she goes to high school, I can add an email address, or if I decide to create an email address for her, I can add it over there. You can also look at marks, toggle between the two children. And over here you can see we're doing well. We're in the average. Then we can also do attendance. So attendance is really lovely. I mean, as a parent, once again, I can load an absentee notice and even give a reason, upload a supporting document, and write a message without bothering the teacher after hours on WhatsApp or any other chat platform. So there's just an example of how you can add a file. And then we get to discipline. So luckily 0 negative points, and I can see that there have been some recognitions and why. And then lastly, we go into finances. If I had anything outstanding, it would be there. And once again, you can pay them for those outstanding items within the app, making it really convenient and easier for parents to pay for things that they need to pay. There we go. Then my next question to you is...
Martha, I've got to stop you there for just a few seconds. I've been with schools that have used D6 for long. I've known the D6 product for many years. What you showed us now, I think for many people, looks new. The parent portal is new. The payment with the Google Maps, with the event and the afskeerstrokie, that is very new. Is it new? Number one. Number two, is it available to everyone that had the old one? I was still used to the good old trusted Toyota Corolla 1988 model, just served me well. But it seems like I just opened up a little bit of a Lexus on my screen here.
Yeah.
And yeah, um, I'm in a school that uses the new D6, and I think I'm one of the few parents. And during the holidays, I got my kids marks, the report card, average and everything. Um, I pay everything at school with D6. I'm one of those parents that even the car guards now have SnapScan QR codes because I never have cash. But just I know you've got some more of the presentation, but I think I just want to understand, how new is this? Is it automatically upgraded in everyone's app, because the parents' side will see this, the school will not see this, and then maybe does the school need to do something to ensure that to use this to effectively communicate what everyone said at the beginning of your question and answer time? This is not just a communication tool. My phone used to be something that I called someone with. Now my phone is my email, my wallet, my newspaper, my camera, my everything. This seems like this is now suddenly converging all of life into one. So I think you went quickly for me, and I live in 2024. So just how new is this? Is it available to all? How's it rolling out? That payments portal looks very lacquer. I never have cash, and we need that. The events, I think schools are very much into crowd management and need to manage events, even if it's a room. Something is in the hockey stand or in the cricket lap or in this. Can you have these separate locations on Google Maps and do that? And then obviously core business, marks and curriculum, afwesighede, the afskeerstrokie, all these things. So yeah. Recap. The video was cool. You've got to share it with us. But recap just quickly. Can everyone have this?
Yes. So technically everybody can have this. The front, like I said, like you mentioned, the front end or the app that the parents see all looks the same. So I know in the past we had the blue app and the gray app. We still have both apps, but they look exactly the same. So we've made it a lot more accessible so that you don't struggle to find your community or anything like that. So things like that we've really thought through and adjusted so that this new look, this new feel can be available to everybody, because we've also got to stay up to date with all the UX and the UI that's happening, or changes or trends that are happening, but still keep it simple enough for everybody to have a good user experience and not feel, oh my word, what Lexus app is this now? Like you mentioned, it doesn't be too fancy, but not too old as well. So from the Connect point of view, if you're setting up a message from there, you'll still be able to do it within the DC, or if you're an integrated client, be able to do it from that part of the portal. But if you would like more advanced features in terms of communication specifically, you can move over to the communication, the D6 communicator, and then these things should also pull through regardless. Like, for example, your parent portal, because that's a D6 integrated, that's the data that's in there, D6 Plus, if you are not familiar with the word integrated, so the admin, curriculum, and finance, the school management system side of things, if you have it, you can let it pull through to the app. But yes, it is basically, we are making it as accessible to everybody as possible, and we are working on things to make it even more unified so that everybody has the same experience. So yeah, we can also come and do demo, if you need to see a little bit more regarding the back end of the platform and the school management system.
Yeah, maybe my last comment, and then you can continue. I think a lot of people have the app. We should probably ask the audience who uses D6 in some way or form. But if you're driving that Lexus in first gear, you're not getting to the full the full capabilities, and that's the sustainability, that's the cost implication, that's the efficiency that you've automated a lot of people time that now takes no time. That's what it looks to me. We pay and no one touches money and no one touches a transaction on a system. The system knows it's me that paid for my grade 7 sockie, which is tonight, and I paid 4 o'clock for the 5 o'clock sockie, and it's still done. So yeah, I think crucial to not just have the app and know the app, but to use it to its full extent. Otherwise, you're driving it in first gear all the time.
We do offer training, and we do have customer success consultants that can help you with that. So if you feel like you are underutilizing it and you're not seeing all the things that we have here, then we could have some training with you. I know last week we did something on content, just to show schools what is possible in building content and making it very engaging. Because something we'll also notice about people as time progresses is our attention spans are getting a whole lot shorter. So the content on the app or the information that you're giving needs to draw the person's attention quickly, and that's a marketing concept as well, but very relevant in our schools. I see there was a comment.
There's a question.
A separate app than the D6 Connect app? No, it's not separate. It all integrates. We don't want to do things that are separate. We want to build that ecosystem and make sure that everything is interoperable so that you don't have to have 10,000 little things that you need to download, and that it's convenient for your parents. I hope that answered your question.
So if you have the D6 Connect app, the parent portal should be there, should be live. You should be able to see it if the school deploys that interoperability.
Yes, if you use obviously the admin, curriculum, and finance modules, because those modules and the data inside of that is dependent to pull through to the app for the parents.
Okay. I'm involved in 4 different schools, 3 for my kids in different schools. I also work for the schools. So D6 is wonderful. Okay, that's just a comment. But yes, I'm also a parent of primary and high school kids. So I get 2 things on the same screen. So do not, I don't want to interrupt you further, but yes, we've got to share that video again. But yeah, continue with your presentation and then we'll jump into questions and comments.
Riaan, can I quickly ask a question? Sorry,
yes,
man.
Yes.
Right, sure, my name is Tembi, so in the Eastern Cape, East London. Yeah, our school currently uses Carry for payments, Carry app.
Yes.
Then will the D6 now capability of payment replace the Carry app?
Yes, so Carry is just a different supplier of a cashless way of paying for things. So we have our supplier and Carry is their own supplier on their own. They only do payments, but we do payments and communication and then the finance part where Riaan mentioned earlier, if I pay for something, they know it's me, it gets reconciled with our finance module, and it's much easier for the bursar or whoever's in the finance office to know exactly what's happening. What's nice about it is this is our product that has it's our sister product, if you could call it that, and it's, yeah, like I say, it's very interoperable. So yes, to answer your question, it could replace that completely. And I think it might be useful if you're using part of D6, to use all of it because everything speaks to each other. There's no exports and a whole lot of data complexities that you need to worry about. And I just wanted to mention Sipho is coming to the Eastern Cape next week. So if you'd like him to pay you a visit, please let us know. You can email us. We'll share the details. I see there was more questions. The difference between D6. Yes.
Yeah, go for it. No. Difference between D6 and D6 Plus, and then someone asking for the video in the app. I don't know if some of your team, your members, your colleagues could possibly see if we can drop this in the app.
Yeah, sure. Okay, perfect. So let me start with the first question. So D6 and D6 Plus, the only difference is D6 is actually our brand name. It's everything we do is D6, whether it's D6 Plus, D6 Communication, D6 App, D6 anything. It's the D6 thing. But D6 Plus, when we speak about D6 Plus, we're speaking about the school management system. So it's just extra. So if you want just the communication part, you can do it that way. Obviously, as I've been saying, I recommend one uses the whole package because, like I mentioned, everything just works together. It's compliant, it's cloud-based, it works with SSMs, all those sort of thing. But yeah, you can technically have them separately as well. And having both D6 Communication and Payments and D6 Plus will help you to have all those things that I just showed in the video. Okay, and I'll share that link with you D6 Plus is just the back office for the school. Yes. Thanks, Gustav. So good way
D6 Plus is the engine, the operation system of the school. It includes all those modules, and communication can stand by itself, but it's far more efficient than if it's interconnected with everything else that happens. Otherwise, you've got a bunch of buckets and the water don't talk to each other. Okay, let's allow you to continue. Welcome to drop in, and thanks for the comments. Please open your mics. Please raise your hands. Please type in. We'll see if we can drop that video in the chat very shortly.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so just moving on to the last little part of what I'm sharing today. I want to know if you've got school spirit. Anybody? Do you have school spirit? Are you HJ school trots? Are you proud to be part of your school?
Yes.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just an extra part that I want to share with you, and it's something that you or some people don't actually know that we can do. So we make provision for schools to brand our app as their own. So now I said this was going to be from a marketer's point of view. So I'll just give you a little bit of background on branding and all that. Branding is the process of presenting your school's character and personality in every way you communicate, from newsletters, hopefully they're digital on D6, to the banner in your front hallway. It's the best way to put a particular image in people's minds when they think about your school. I think it's something that's very relevant. I mentioned at the beginning, gone are the days when the closest school is the best school. If you live close to good schools, you're really lucky. But a lot of schools need to actually put a lot of effort into their branding and their message that they convey to the outside world to recruit learners and to also just keep the standard up of their school. And I think many schools are doing amazing jobs regarding this. It's good to see that, the schools that were there when I was younger are still standing and still strong and still showing their school pride. So this is just to show that you can have your own app in the App Store, so your own branded app, but it has all the functionality of what I just showed you. So you don't need to build your own. I know some schools look at possibly building their own apps, making a custom thing. It requires a lot of, I think, moving parts, and it's really something you might not want to be inundated with, on top of all the other things that you already have to deal with in a school. So we take care of that, the upkeep, the cost, all of that. We just make it for you or brand it for you, and then you can use the capabilities within it. So that's the payments. You can link your parent portal to it if you like. You can do all the Google Calendar invites, your resources, categories, anything can be shared there. So this is just something that I wanted to mention to you today, because we're also not going in at a huge, really expensive price point for this, because we want to be able to give schools this if it's something that they are interested in. And so, it's on a really good special at the moment if you would like to find out more regarding that. Thank you. That was just the last little bit of my presentation. I'm very happy to.
We've got great questions, and if I don't get to my final comments, it's all good. What are the costs involved, and perhaps any reason why schools will not use this? Yeah.
Okay, so it's involved. Sorry, do you mean specifically for the white label or the custom branded app, or do you mean for everything? Because it's just dependent on that.
Everything.
But we do
the package.
We are competitively priced. So it's really everything, I see. It also depends on the amount of learners in your school in some instances, and also the features that you would like. But we do try to keep it quite low. I wonder if I can give you a good estimation. A medium-sized school, it's a monthly recurring fee that one has to pay. But I think the best would be for us to come and do a needs analysis, because we also don't want to just give you everything or We're not trying to upsell anyone. We're not trying to do anything like that. We're trying to identify what the need is in your school and to help you with what we have to offer.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the best thing to do in terms of cost. I just want to say why schools would not use this. I think ignorance or people's perceptions maybe from the past, because D6 has come a long way. I mean, Pencil Box, Principal Primary, Principal Software, all those things from that time, I think, and there were other names, Smart Software, all the way to now. So often we have a very old perception of what D6 can do. And I think that's why it's good for us to share this stuff.
There's quite a few difficult questions there, so I'm going to let you. I mean, this is the meeting where the people are in front of you. Is it possible? This is a silly question, but possible yet to include basic formatting, bold, italics in communication sent from D6 Plus?
From D6 Plus. Oh, I see. I'm actually not 100% sure. I know it's definitely possible in the new communication platform. We can do a whole lot of things. You can even put in emojis. And we are working on getting all that stuff to all of our clients. As I mentioned, we want to make all of this accessible. So it will be soon, Stefan, or Stephen, sorry, not sure if you're English or Afrikaans. And I know we can share links, and I like that attachments are now shown as previews. Yes, so the links is a new thing, or a more recent feature. Like I said, we'll also share a lot more of this information on our social platforms so that you can see when something is new. Categories is a new thing now that we're also looking at.
Perfect. I just want to clarify Zandi's question. Parents often complain about the rate they have to pay. Is that the rate for? I'm not sure parents pay anything. I hope I don't pay anything, because I think on the school side, it's the school that pays for the software, and on the payment side, it's the school that pay the facilitation fee, which you would have done if you'd taken cash. You would have had a cash handling fee at the bank in any case. So Zandi, if you can possibly just clarify what the rate is that you're talking about on that side. I just want to put my hat on as an SGB member and a governor and working with FEDSAS and go to the question about what does it cost? I want to ask the question, what does it cost if you don't? There's always two questions to this, and the efficiency of schools, and I'm not saying that people should not be doing jobs, but people should not be doing jobs that computers should be doing. People should be doing the jobs that they should and only they can be doing. But if we're paying human intelligence, a body, to be very efficient, there's a limitation of the number of hours and the scale. But integrated, interoperable, cloud-based platforms for me, and this is just procuring on a technology side of things. If something happens automatically, you save a man or a human hour. Man hour sounds like wrong. It was Women's Month 2 months ago. It's a human hour that you save if something is happening automatically. And I think the opportunity cost of procurement for systems, it costs money to be efficient, but it's sunken cost to be inefficient. And we're in budget cycle at schools. So I think, Francois, you asked that question. If it makes your life easier, you save the wellness, the hours, the efficiency, the data that you get, all these things in a system. So yeah, I think the D6 team needs to get back to you on that side of things. Zandi says the percentage parents have to pay when using the app to pay via D6. That is, Zandi, I'm still confused, but Donata, help us out on that one. Is there a percentage that parents have to pay? Does the school charge them extra because they pay via the app? I use it at 2 schools and I pay the final fee. The Soki was $80 and I paid $80. I have to, when I pay money into my wallet and I want it available immediately, there's a penalty fee for the bank clearance. But if I pay on a normal EFT, within 2 days, it's in the account and I've got my online wallet. So Zandi, I'm not sure if it's that one, but maybe connect with the D6 team or Donata, do you have anything else on that side to add?
I think chat to us, but as far as I know, yeah, like you said, that's exactly how it works. Okay. Sometimes I know schools add a little bit extra so that they don't have to incur the fee or a percentage. I'm not sure if that's maybe what's happening, and kind of makes sense, I understand. But there's also the option, obviously, to pay with your Visa card. that I showed a little bit earlier. That's
Wow.
also quite useful if it is referring to the Stick It wallet specifically that you have there. But yeah, chat to us and our so Stick It is part of the payments facilitator, if you will, that helps us to be able to do payments in the app, and we can just chat to them regarding that.
Can I add my wisdom or my feeling as a governor again? The opportunity cost of that rate is what we call a cash environment, which is not just costly in a sense of having to handle cash and deposit it at the bank at the counter, but we have people in this country walking around with guns wanting cash. As a parent, I do not want cash on any premises where my young kids are for 6-7 hours a day. We had many incidents in this country already where schools were robbed, armed robberies in daylight. And for me, that is the risk management that a governor, SGB member must apply to say, we pay our insurance every month. We get nothing for it because if something happens, we need to recover. That rate, Zandi, for me, I will pay more money to not have cash close to my kids, apart from the fact that kids lose money and kids bully each other's money away from them. I live in Gauteng. Edenvale High School 5 years ago got robbed by 4 AK-47s. Cops and robbers shoot out. It was on the news, in the media, and that's one of the incidents that make the media. A lot don't make the media. So just double check the opportunity cost or the cost of not doing that side as well. Donata, I don't see any other questions. I'm going to quickly end up. I don't know if you've got a final comment or thought, but I just want to share a few things from the FEDSAS side of things. Just as final notes, I'm not even going to share my screen. I'm just going to, no, maybe I'll share my screen. Let me just do that. Or do you have a final comment to make?
No, yeah, I'd say my final comment regarding a topic such as this is probably nothing changes if nothing changes. So if things are difficult in your school, or if there are inefficiencies that could be made more efficient, you need to change something. So that first step is the most important. And I think taking that first step will help to build more resilient schools. Because if you take a step in the right direction, it allows for a lot more sustainability in the future.
Right.
But yeah, that is it.
Thanks. We'll do a round of goodbyes. I just want to quickly wrap up my thoughts. And one of the reasons that D6 is a member of the center and that we've been in association for many years. In fact, this year, it will be the 10th year that D6 and FEDSAS has been working together. We started out with our digital citizenship campaign in 2014 as with D6, then Principal Software, as a partner in getting the message that the 21st century is arriving in the administration world, in the schooling world. A few things that FEDSAS is working on with the Department of Education is the fact that there's the DBE reporting structure known as SASAMS. And yes, there is a modernization of SASAMS ongoing. I know the D6 team is aware of that. I've been to several meetings with the Department of Education and the NECT, and that process is ongoing. So we're just keeping eyes on that. But as far as I know, D6 enables export or interoperability with the D dashboard and the compliance side of things. I think we've got to elevate our level of reporting in schools. The Bella Act changed a few things, and one of them is the fact that the budget and this is budget time, budget cycle, has to be disclosed with the announcement. So you've got an attachment, you've got a shortened budget summary of income and expenditure, but reporting makes for transparency. It's not sharing your state secrets, but reporting in a way. And if you've got a financial system that reports, good governors, SGB members can manage and drive the school in the right direction because you have information faster and quicker. So a system with data gives us that ability. One of the key elements of a well-performing school is that of parent involvement. And we've seen during this whole cycle of change in government, the Bella Act discussions and everything, we mobilized from FEDSAS side to say, parents, Go be involved. Go say your say. Go be in a place where you take ownership of your public local school so that you're involved, so that you know what's going on. And open communication, more communication gives us that. And formal communication. We've seen a lot of fake news in this world that we're living in. So a formal communication platform says everything that's published here, this is the truth. Everything that's published outside might be the truth, but might not be the full truth. So yes, we send WhatsApps and we send groups, and we've got the parking lot under the tree discussions, and did you hear this? But there's a formal communication, and that just gives good governance, good just clarity on what the truth is here. And then what I love is the fact that if you generate data insights is the new gold of the future. If you can know more than you know now, which kids have problems with which subjects, in what term, in which learning outcome, which behavioral insights we can get. I mean, there is so many data points. There are so many data points in a system. And I think from the governance point of view, we must focus on data-driven decisions. You can't make a data-driven decision if you don't have the data. You can't have data if you don't have a system to collect that. So that's broad picture, not necessarily limited to D6, but that's the discussion, and D6 fits into that mold. To say they generate data, they've got formal communication, they have parent involvement, elevated connection with them, and that kind of thing. So on that note, maybe just not a dad joke today, but once again, thanking the teachers. I found this online, a multitasking educational rock star who lives to inspire and loves to encourage. They're kind of a big deal. So thank you to our teachers. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, open up and see if there's any other comments, questions. Oh, there's a bunch of them. No, are they handled? Sorry, I joined late. Maybe just a late comment on seamless integration, Western Cape, and SA SAMS. Different province, a different world there. Western Cape doesn't have access to SA SAMS. Seamless integration.
Yes, so we are, as I understand, we are always trying to be able to do the integration between CMIS and D6. Up to date, it has not been completely possible. There's certain things that we can offer in terms of curriculum that you could use, but it might not be the best fit in the Western Cape schools specifically. I think we give about 50% off on our curriculum module for our Western Cape schools because of this reason. But luckily, you can still use our admin and finance modules. So the admin modules where you load your discipline, your attendance, I think, all that sort of thing. And finance, obviously, you do all your finances through it. It's basically a replacement of Pastel or any program like that. And you can make use of the communication and payments still. And in curriculum, if you would like it to show in the app, you would need to input it into D6. But as you mentioned, it's not completely all together. Debbie says, we'll start using curriculum as well. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. I think there is value in it because you get to show your parents, what are the grade averages. They get a nice little overview of what's happening. So, great news, Debbie.
Last question here. Will this perhaps help motivate parents to commit to school fees? We get so tired to beg for money. I'm very interested and need someone to come see us, so the team will follow up. Yes, I believe, once again, putting on a different hat, we should make it as easy as possible for parents to pay. Paying school fees is an obligation. It's an investment. It's not a cost, but it's an obligation. It's being part of the tribe, and it should be as easy as possible. I, as a parent, don't have cash on me. I don't want to go queue somewhere and pay it in. Yes, I can make an EFT, I can have a recurring payment, but that takes effort. So my testimony is I charge my Stickit wallet, not in an urgent manner that I have to pay with my credit card and incur a fee or pay the miracle fee to have it available immediately. But if I pay 2 days in advance, it's a different bank. I always have money, because if my kids ask me now, there's a shave-a-thon at school today and I don't have $20, I just press the blue button. But I pay my school fees, I pay any event at school, and we've taken cash off it. So yes, I think the easier it is for people to pay, the more likely they are to pay. If it's difficult for them to pay, it's going to be harder for them to pay. So maybe that's just an answer on that one. We've got to fix our sustainability in schools and ensuring that that school fees are being paid in a collective manner.
Yeah.
Nata, we're at the end. Oh, yeah, go.
Sorry, just wanted to add on to that just a minute. With our ecosystem that I mentioned earlier that we're trying to build, we have a whole lot of partners. I mentioned Devesco and CB, for example, as examples of suppliers that we use. So obviously, we don't want to get to collection straight away. We need to give our parents a chance to pay, make it as easy as possible for them to pay, get them to agree to the payments, etc., etc. But if it comes to that, and you have already done your first line of maybe following up on collecting fees and whatever, we also then make it easier for your collectors to get relevant data, only specific shared data, so that they can do collections on your behalf without you having to export data all the time and send them all the information. So that's also another way that we're making collecting payments a little bit easier. But definitely the fact that my statement gets updated and it's in the app and I can pay whatever's outstanding is fantastic. So I definitely think it will help you.
Yeah, perfect. Donata, how can people get hold of you guys? Waar moet ons klik om julle in die hande te kry? Where do we go?
Okay, so you can either go to d6.co.za, but I would suggest just sending an email with whatever you are interested in to sales@d6.co.za.
Sales@d6.co.za. That's D6, the number 6.co.za.
Yeah.
Or you can contact me anytime. Any of our members, you're welcome to speak to the Center for Technology, Riaan at FEDSAS.org.za, and we can talk. There was an open mic. Is there a question from someone?
Riaan, quick one.
Sure.
Donata mentioned that her team will be in Eastern Cape soon. Is there a central communication that you send to all the school, or we depend on this person that's coming to the Eastern Cape?
There is a central communication, but you know what? I'm going to make sure that I'm going to check if you are on that list, and then we'll send you the information so that we can make an effort to see you. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Pleasure.
Guys, thank you so much. Dankie Donata, all the way from Harare, joining us online. Thanks for all the schools joining us online. We'll be sharing the slide deck as well as the recording with you within the next 24 or 48 hours to make sure that everyone gets this detail and make sure that that video is on social media, so that we can see the Lexus where we were used to, the Corolla. Thank you for sharing that with us. Donata, baie dankie. Thanks to all our schools. Enjoy the week where we still celebrate our teachers. Take care, guys. Go well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.